Local authorities in that southern city now say that an art school where they say 400 people were sheltering from these strikes were sheltering. They say 3 Russian missiles hit that school. It's not known what the fate is of those 400 people who the authorities say were in there. That's on top of hundreds more people who the authorities in Mariupol have been saying that they're still trying to reach. They were sheltering in the basement of a theatre that was bombed last week. Now, very difficult to get confirmation or independent verification of these reports, but certainly the people who are managing to escape from Mariupol and get, for example, here to Lviv tell horrifying stories of the conditions there. A woman we spoke to yesterday said, for example, there were bodies in the street outside her home. Her grandmother was with her. She said that 5-story apartment buildings were on fire. One Ukrainian MP says that 80% of the structures in Mariupol have been destroyed. And in another worrying potential development, the local authorities also say that thousands of residents have essentially been deported, have been taken out of Mariupol and have been taken to Russia against their will. That, of course, goes to this ongoing discussion about which corridors Russia is providing for people trying to escape the conflict zone. The Ukrainians very unhappy when Russia directs those people towards its territory. It's a kind of virtual tour that President Zelensky is going on. He is a former actor, a former comedian, and we see once again the strength of his communication skills, tailoring his message to his specific audience. We saw him in the US talk about 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. To the German parliament, he talked about the Berlin Wall. To the Israelis today, he talked about the Holocaust. Now, Mr. Zelensky himself is a Jew. He said that our people are now seeking sanctuary around the world just as your people once did. That speech was televised on a big screen in a main square in Tel Aviv, and lots of people watched that along with the parliamentarians. Israel in a very difficult position. It wants to keep in with Russia. Essentially, it's relatively happy with the role that Russia now plays in the Middle East. There is also a substantial Jewish community in Russia. But President Zelensky, in that trademark direct manner we've got to know from him, said to Israel that it was time for them to choose. He wants them to impose sanctions. They are delivering aid, but he says that's not enough. He's called on Israel to deliver military aid to his country. So another very powerful speech from President Zelensky. We don't yet know how the Israeli parliament will or will not react to that.